Hey guys, welcome to RC Video Reviews for this first look at the Eachine TX16s. So yeah, the TX16s by Eachine. I was kind of surprised when this one came out, and when I saw it, I went to Radio Master and said, "Hey, what is that?" And they're OEMing for Eachine, so it's just an OEM radio. And yeah, it's made by Eachine. Before I get into the content, I do need to let you know the video is sponsored by Banggood. So I'd like to say thanks to Banggood for sponsoring the video by sending me the radio for review. And I also want to let you guys know that there are some coupons in the description. And this is one of those, every now and then my contact over at Banggood, she just hooks me up. She'll say, hey, she knows I've been doing the Express LRS stuff. And she said, I'm going to send you some coupons. And they're a limited number, by the way. They're good until the end of May. It's not a whole lot, but you know, every little bit helps. If they're 10, I think they're 10% off on some of the Express LRS transmitter receiver modules. So if you're into that kind of thing and you want to experiment with it a little bit, I can tell you that they did send me, I don't want to get off track here, but I do have the, and I think I can take the logo down. Thanks to Banggood again. So I did make my own project boxes. You notice that antenna is much shorter than the 915. This is the 2.4 box. So I do have that. That came from Banggood, and I have receivers that should be here soon. So I'll be able to continue on the march with my Just Say No to Free Sky project, and we'll get more information on Express LRS. At any rate, some stuff in there in the description for you if you guys want to take advantage. There are limited numbers on those, so use them up and have at it. So the Eachine TX16s. When I said there's more than this than meets the eye, it's true. There is more to this radio than meets the eye. It's not obvious by the pictures, so I want to try and do it justice by giving it a good look. And I can tell you that it is a TX16s. What I'm encouraged about on this radio is that it almost feels like the TX18s. Shh, don't tell other people that. It kind of does. It kind of does. When I picked it up and held it and monkeyed around with it and tried different things out, I was like, man, this is the TX17 or the TX18 or whatever they choose to do with it. But anyway, here's the box. That's awesome that they got a box, and that's the outer box. So yay for that. I noticed, I don't know if there was a manual in the original TX. I just don't remember. But this one had I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can get a good look at the manual. It's not bad. It's not like, you know, it's not a programming manual. You know, it's not a programming. I kind of, oh, look at that. Look what they put in their manual. They said, if you need to know about a TX16s, just go to RC Video Reviews on YouTube. Cool. I like that kind of endorsement. Anyway, if you look at the specs, it's basically the same stuff as that you get in the TX16s. Little bit of support information, a little bit about how to update, and important notes on power and charging precautions. They're still sticking with that 3.7 thing. I don't know why. I've been using 3.6 lithium-ion cells of mine for forever. That's fine. Okay, so enough of the box. I'm going to zoom back out so you guys can see this, and let me. You guys are familiar with this thing, right? I'll give them one thing. The radio's protected. They're not. It'd be really, if you had shipping damage, it'd have to be very persistent shipping damage. So there we go. Let's see. I just want to give you a look inside. This was a surprise to me. I didn't know this would be inside the box. I'm not sure if that's part of the standard kit or not, but what I can tell you, I haven't opened it yet, but it is a D8. It's S-Bus, and it's 2.4, and it supports 4.5 to 6. So this is a little D8 S-Bus receiver that came with it. So cool. I'll be checking that out for sure. It's got a screen protector. You know what's funny about these screen protectors? On my other radios, I just leave this one on. It works fine. So I didn't see any purpose in maybe I should cut the red thing off, right? But I really didn't see any purpose in peeling that one off to put this one on. This one has no bubbles. There's nothing underneath it, and it's fine. I can see through it. I don't know. Call me simple, I guess, but okay. Don't call me simple. Enough people call me simple. I get enough of that at home. I don't need it from you guys. Anyway, okay, here's the USB cable, USB-C, USB-A to USB-C. Cool. Can't ever have enough of those. And there's some extra springs. I'm not sure if these are extra tension springs or what. I've never really kind of bothered with them. I just left them in the box. But that's it. No keychain. And unfortunately, no neck strap. I just wish they would include the neck strap. I mean, it's nice to be coordinated, right? It's nice to have your neck strap and radio say the same thing. Speaking of neck strap, I don't want to forget about that because they did relocate stuff on this one. So here's the radio. They did relocate, and I'm going to zoom in just a touch on the radio. So they relocated a few things, and obviously the first one that jumps out are the buttons. And I think one of the first questions that people are going to ask is, what happens if you have your neck strap on and you're trying to use the radio? Are those buttons going to get in the way? So if that's your neck strap, just imagine that's your neck strap and you're flying and you reach up to grab those buttons. There's the right hand, and I'll move the strap just a little bit so you can see, and the left. So my answer is no way does the neck strap interfere with the buttons at all. In fact, the only thing that I think it might interfere with even the slightest bit is the power button. But I don't think that's a problem. So for me, I mean, maybe visually, like if you were looking, you know, if that's your view and you were looking, you might have to do one of those to see. I guess that could be, you know, you might consider that interference maybe. So if you were looking, you know, at the radio, you might say, okay, well, you know, how do I see my buttons? You might have to do some unnatural acts. So that could be interference, right? You might perceive that as interference, but that's it. As far as operating the buttons, no problem. And I don't know. I don't think that I really spend that much time looking at these buttons when I press them. As far as the tactile feel on this thing, everything feels very similar on this that it does to the Radio Master, but there are some subtle changes, and that's what I mean about more than meets the eye. So let's cover a couple of them. The first one you'll notice are these screws. I haven't mapped them all out yet. I know a couple of them, like the elevator. These are endpoint adjustments. So if you change these, you can change the endpoints. Is that the elevator? I guess I don't have it mapped out. One of these changes the endpoints, and I know the other one's for the screen. There it is. That's the elevator. So see how, let me zoom in and make sure you guys can see it. Okay, see, I've got the stick all the way up and the output monitor says 95% on the elevator. So if I adjust this down, now it says 100, okay? And it also has the ability to adjust the spring tension. So I haven't mapped those out yet. We'll look at that in a little bit, but I did want to point that out. Now, you might say, okay, why? Who cares? Well, one of the things about the original Radio Master case when you put on different stick ends is that the gimbals bumped into the corners right here when you put on the bigger stick ends. One thing that'd be nice about that adjustment is you can take up a little bit of the mechanical space and calibrate, and then you never have to worry about the stick touching the case. That's kind of cool. And then the other one is maybe, you know, depending on your style, you know, and the way you do things, you may not need all that motion. You may say, you know what, that's fine. So it's just kind of, it takes up a little bit of that mechanical play, I guess is what I'm saying. So that's not a terrible thing. That's not a terrible thing. That doesn't bother me. I think it's a neat adjustment. You might say, well, you know, that's a waste, but look, man, if they're not charging anything extra for it, who cares? It's a nice little bonus to have that up front. So I like that, right? And for me, for a lot of people, this might be fire and forget. You know, you set your attention once and then that's the end of it and you're done. But it's there in case you want to use it. And there you go. So another thing that I wanted to point out on this one in terms of touch, and this is what I mean about the evolution, is that the ratcheting mechanism on this feels it feels really good. Much better than it did on my TX16s, any version of the TX16s. So I'm not sure. I don't know if they changed the mechanism or not. I don't know what happened, but boy, I like it. I can tell you that. And another thing that I'm going to tell you right now, these pots, you will never miss center on these pots. So that's one of the big complaints on the TX16s, is that the pots were they were soft in the middle, and it was kind of hard to find them, right? I know that was a big complaint on the original TX16s, but on this one, you're not going to ever have a problem finding center. All right, while that's going on, let me get into the chat and say hello. I just want to take a moment to say hello to everybody. And while I'm doing that, I want to look at something on Banggood real fast, because I think I want to make sure I quote it right. So here we go. The price, $177. Okay, so let's see. JDM Dino Systems, how you doing? Lasersby, hey, Lasersby, you made a live one. Good to see you. Macelius FPV, how are you? Robert, hello. Four Eyes, how you doing, buddy? Freddie made it. Freddie woke up from his nap finally. David Knutz, how you doing, buddy? Brian Carson, Romulo, Mini Me FPV, and 0049, compliments from Turkey. Thanks. Welcome from Turkey. Welcome from Florida. And Richard Draget, good morning. And let's see, William Blonde, hello. K Anthony, hello. All right, I think I got everybody. Okay, so $177.99, David, that was your question. That's how much this one cost. So anyway, back to the pots. No question about it. These pots definitely way more firm. like noticeable dead center stopping. If that's a thing for you, these pots are definitely, this is why I think it's kind of like a revision 2. Okay, now on the sides, on the sliders, all I can say is I think they're a little better, maybe, but still not. Like, in my mind, there's no question this is different. They changed that for 100% for sure. This one, not so sure. It feels like there might be a little more tension, but maybe it's placebo. Might be because it's brand new, not sure. On this one, same thing. It does feel like there's a little more tension on this one than the other. And it feels good. I mean, that's a pretty solid detent, but again, it's not like this. This thing, man, I'll tell you one thing, be careful, because you might actually find yourself in the middle and think you're all the way to one side or the other and not feel like you can turn it. And then what'll happen is you get to one side and you'll say, that's just a detent. You might wrench it. So just be careful. It takes a little getting used to, I think, on this one. And then another thing I'll point out is this one has the screw mounts up top for things like an FPV monitor. So if you want to mount something up here, you have the ability to do that. The antenna, the 2.4 gigahertz antenna, is not detachable. That's fixed. Around the backside, it's a solid metal handle, just like the original TX16s. You can see that it's got the same battery cover, the JR Bay cover for modules. And I'll just stick my project box in there so you guys can see that. So that works. And then the battery compartment, it's the same oversized compartment as the TX16. This is a TX16s on the outside, guys. It's the same radio, same back grips. The screws are in the same place. I mean, the backs might actually even be interchangeable. In fact, maybe we'll check that. Maybe we'll check that out. So everything on the back, pretty much the same. The real changes come up front. And then as far as the front equipment goes, I'm pretty sure that's metal, although it doesn't feel ice cold, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's metal. And then the buttons are plastic, and they have the same TX16 layout. So you've got model on the right, system on the left, the return button here, and you got all 4 buttons. The one thing that I really kind of would like them to get worked out on these radios is the contrast. So up here, contrast is excellent. Look how, you know, you can see everything. You see T3, T2, T1, T4. Over here, not so much. Now, once you're familiar with the radio, it's not that big of a deal. But when you're first getting used to it, there's nothing. I don't know why they can't put some paint down there. That would be good. It would be good if they could do that, just to give some contrast to these buttons. But, you know, if you like a very simple, subtle radio, this is simple and subtle. Not much to it. As you can see, the Eachine logo up top, and then the top's been re-engineered a little bit because we now have the buttons up there. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to put it over my microphone so you can hear it. The speaker, that was one of the big things that everyone asked about on the first ones, very loud. So I'm going to bring it next to my microphone so you can hear it. So here we go. I'm going to power it up.
Welcome to OpenTx.
Yeah. So I hope you heard that, but it's pretty loud. The speaker is really pretty loud. So good job on that. Okay. Price $179. We covered that, William. Okay. Hello from Great Britain, K Anthony, and then no touchscreen yet. So yeah, let's check on that. As far as the hardware goes, this does have the touchscreen. That was one of the first things I checked. You go into debug mode, put it on analogs, and then when you touch right here, you should see that number light up. So this is definitely a touch screen. There's no question about that. I think, like I said, it's basically like a revised. There's some refinements. The other thing is the gimbals. They're definitely tighter than the TX16s came stock, the Radiomaster version, but that might be because of these adjustments. So you do have adjustments up front. Maybe they were tightened a little tighter than the original one, but yeah, you can definitely feel these are definitely tighter, no doubt. But again, could be based on the adjustments. Okay, as far as the sides go, I took the leather grips off of my red radio, my red and silver radio. This is the leather grip, so those fit exactly. So if you want to get the leather grips off of one of the websites, you can. if you like those better than the plastic rubber ones. You know, these are the rubber ones that come stock, so they're interchangeable if you want to switch. And then as far as the inside goes, I've got good news for you. We should have this open pretty quick. So I'm just going to pop that off, and then I'll turn it off. I'm going to take the battery out real fast. And there we go. Look at that. I was ready. I was ready. All right. So as far as the innards go, I have something to compare. So here we go. I'm gonna turn the chat window off real fast because I want you guys to be able to see this. So as far as the guts go, let me see. Okay, one of the things that I noticed right away, here's the original TX16s, and it's got the metal crossbars. This one has plastic. That's plastic bars. The Hall sensors are the same. They look like they're the same. These two are reversed, but it looks like they move the position. But other than that, they're the same. I see this Hall effect sensor wire sitting. Yep, that's the same. They do the same. Cable routing is the same. Everything inside is zip tied, just like on the TX16s. Same top board. Obviously the LEDs have been moved. We already talked about that. So this is not perfectly interchangeable. However, these boards are, these control boards look to be the same. That's the same 4-1 module. The same, it's got the same ribbon connector for the monitor. And as far as the CPU goes, I'll have to flip it over and read it. Give me just, in fact, I'm going to disconnect the speaker. I'm going to drag that around. 1 second. Oh, by the way, it does have the dual speaker setup. So one speaker here, one speaker on the front. And then as far as the CPU goes, it is an STM32F42. It looks like 290, but they wrote over the top of it. Let me see if it's the same thing on this. I'm sure it is, but F4298, yeah, 298B IT6. So yep, it is the same CPU. I would say based on my initial look, pretty much everything inside these two looks the same. I mean, I think it's identical. One thing, there was another thing that I noticed on the jog wheel. It felt to me like this jog wheel was a little stiffer. Again, maybe placebo effect. Well, I'll tell you what. I want to look. I'm just curious about it because it did feel like it was more accurate, and I just wanted to take a look and see if anything on the mechanism itself changed. So let me just pop this off real quick, and we'll just take a look. Oops, top right got the long screw. Got to remember that. Okay. All right, the jog wheel. Anything different about you? Nope. That's the same mechanism. Yeah, I was kind of hoping they might have, you know, there's some hacks out there where some guys are taking like Velcro, the soft Velcro, and they're putting a little patch on here just to kind of slow that wheel down. And I kind of wondered initially if they did something like that. And this is definitely the metal wheel. No question about that. Metal wheel. And if you've never seen this taken off, it should just, yeah, it should just slide out like that. So metal wheel. So metal pin there and a big metal roller down there on the bottom. So yep, that's the same exact design as the TX16. There's nothing different about that. All right, well, so much for that. I was hoping that they might have made, because that's another area that I think, you know, there's maybe some room for improvement on the TX16s, is getting that wheel a little, somehow getting it a little more precise. You know, I think there's an opportunity there to do that. So let me go ahead and try and screw this back on, and then we will button it up, see if there's anything else. I'll look at questions in a moment and see if there's anything else you guys want to talk about while I have the back of the radio open. But let me just get this wheel put back in place real quick. Okay, the long one goes on the top right. And yep, okay, good. I was just checking on the bottom, make sure it spun freely and that it clicked. That's when you're putting the scroll wheel back in, you kind of need to do that. Okay, sorry for the detour, but I kind of wanted to see, I kind of wanted to see if there was anything different about that, and I can't see it. So yeah, I'd say bottom line, the guts of both radios, they're pretty much exactly the same thing. Yep. Unfortunately, they're still using the PCB boards. That's one area I kind of hope they get away from in a subsequent model, so you can move your switches around with impunity. I like to relocate my momentary switch, but when they do this, that means you've got to desolder it, and it's kind of a pain in the neck. But I will be doing that. Make no mistake, this will get the same treatment. I'll be relocating my momentary switch on the Eachine as well. And I do that in case you wonder for the purposes of instant trim. It's just the way I like it. So, okay, that's it on the inside. Let me check the questions real quick and see if there's anything in here that I need to address. Let's see. Let me find out where did I leave off here. It is Radio Master. Man, I missed a bunch of stuff here. You guys are chatting it up. Okay, Four Eyes FPV said no touchscreen. Yeah, that's software and that's coming. Hang tight. The TX16X ratchet was non-existent. Yeah, I'm not sure if they changed the plastic in there, but the ratchet, I'm not sure what exactly has changed because the mechanism to me looks identical. It really does look identical. I'm not sure exactly what's changed. As far as tension goes, I'm looking to see where those screws. I'm kind of curious to see how those screws impact the tensioner. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to play with it. I don't want to wear you guys out looking for that. But anyway, yeah, the mechanism for the ratchet looks identical. So it's over here on this side, and it looks identical, but it feels different. And again, plastic arms. So for whatever that's worth. Let's see. K. Anthony says, looks like a nice radio. Have you tried Crossfire on it yet? Actually, technically I did. I didn't actually use a Crossfire module, K. Anthony, but I did stick one of these in. I stuck my 915. It was either this one or this one, but they both run Crossfire protocol, and they both activated. So I did actually try it to make sure that worked. I haven't, I just got the radio today, so I haven't done any flying with it yet. Something I've seen on Banggood item description, the first 300 customers must get a free R81 receiver. Oh, okay. Maybe that's what this is all about. I'm not sure if that's R81. It kind of looks like it doesn't have a model number on it. I'll open it after I close this up and I handle the inside of the radio. I'll open that up. We'll take a look. Hey John, is this made by Radio Master and rebadge for? I don't think it's a Reach thing, John. I think Eachine probably wanted their own radio, and it is absolutely Radio Master manufactured. No two ways around it. This is 100% a Radio Master device. No question in my mind about that. Airhammer RC thought he'd stop in for a few. Man, that's good. Airhammer, it's been a while, buddy. I'm glad you could make it. FL Engineer, how you doing? Let's see. Hello from Australia, Flying Dream 777. I don't like the throttle stick that ratchets. Yeah, well, you can always release it, Dave. If you want to, David, you can just unscrew that and release the ratchet altogether. If you don't like that, it takes just a moment to do that. All right, RCR Marshall, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Dragon 1974 Dragon Killer says, is the SH switch still a momentary switch? And that would be this one, and the answer is yes. The SH switch, that is still momentary. That one's SH, and that is still momentary. So yep. And like I said, I'll be switching that. David says, I agree, I'm marking the buttons. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with the buttons being marked. You could hear it all the way here in Australia. I'm not sure what that reference is, Drone Pilot. You could hear it all the way in Australia. Okay, I missed it. Let's see. I like the position of the sixth position. Yeah, Yelly Captain. I forgot how to say it. Captain Yeah, I do like the position of the 6-position switch as well. It seems like it's easier to reach. Like if you're flying, your thumbs are right here. If you need to reach a mode switch, it's right. There's no stretch to get there. So I do kind of understand that. It makes sense to me. That woke up the neighbors. I don't. Oh, the sound. I got you. The audio. The speakers. Yeah, I'm back. I'm scrolling back a little bit. So yeah, it's loud, man. The speakers are definitely loud. I like it, but not enough of an improvement to switch. No, guys, yeah, I wouldn't recommend this as a switch. If you currently have a TX16s, no, this is not, no. I wouldn't do that either. But if you're in the market for a radio or like a multi-protocol module, then maybe it makes sense to look at this one as well as the TX16. And of course, you know, stock options might be different from one to the next as well. So keep that in mind. You know, if you can't get your hands on the TX16s, maybe this one makes a viable substitute for you. Just remember, the one thing that I would say is you gotta, yeah, there it is. The one thing you gotta be careful about is, I don't know that this one will have support for things like the bling kit, you know, the Hall effect, or not the Hall effect, but the CNC kit. I do know that the handle will fit on the back. In fact, I mentioned that. I should do that. Let's see. Let's just see if the handles or if the backs are completely interchangeable. This is the back off of the red radio, the red and silver, and I would say, yeah, they're pretty much completely interchangeable. That's the back. This is the back off the red radio, and it fits right in there. It's a perfect fit. So yeah, they're using the same back. There's no doubt about that. The backs are identical. All right, let me, I'm just gonna button this up again so we can flip it around and look at the front. I won't bother screwing everything down, but I want to be able to take questions off the front and the software. We need to take a quick look at the software as well. So let me just put the lid back on that real fast. And I feel like I'm missing something. It's not seating. Oh, the SD card. Yeah, there's an SD card. Same spot as the Radiomaster TX16. Yeah, this is a TX16s with some subtle differences. There we go. Okay, so I'll just put this little guy, put that on, and I'll just screw this in, and that's enough to kind of hold it together for the rest of the review. Or the rest of the first look. Oh, the battery tray, I'm just using some 18650s. These are Samsung 35Es. I've been using these in all of my, you know, Radiomaster / OpenTx type radios.
Welcome to OpenTx.
Yeah, that speaker.
Throttle warning.
Yeah.
Switch warning.
Yeah, okay, sweetheart, thank you. All right. Yeah, that's not going to make the wife happy if you're messing with your radio in the middle of the night, I can tell you that. Okay, as far as software goes, let's take a look at the system software real quick. 2.3.9, so close, but not full up. And it's got compile options for Crossfire, Flex 9, International multi-module, Lua, and Luacy. So yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that I would add is no heli, and I'd take out that Flex. I'd take out Just Say No to Free Sky. I'd take that out. I don't know what they're doing in open source software. They're playing their own game now, aren't they? Oh wait, they want to play both sides of the fence. I forgot. All right, let's see. I like it. Okay, Freddie, the last comment I checked was Freddie saying I like it, but not enough to switch. And I said, yep, I wouldn't switch either. But, you know, if you're in the market. I've had my Taranis for a few years, really undecided if this is an upgrade over David. David says if I'm undecided if this is an upgrade over Taranis. If you go back and watch my videos, you'll notice that I used a Taranis for about 5 years, and in more than one video, I said they can pull my Taranis from my cold dead hands, and now I feel the same way about my Radiomaster stuff. I wouldn't give this back for a Taranis. Not a chance. Not a chance. BD Tennessee sold my TX16. Might have to pick up one of these. Okay. Gimbals, yeah, gimbals are slightly different. Like the mechanicals look the same except for the plastic versus the metal. Other than that, the mechanicals look the same. I wish the Free Sky gimbals fit in the TX16s. Yeah, those M9 gimbals are pretty nice. I got to give them that. But these feel pretty good to me. And I'll tell you, the red one, I don't know what the deal is with that red one. I feel like they gave me some kind of top secret gimbal on that red one. Those things feel silky smooth. Let's see. Pretty certain Radiomaster is making these for Eachine. Yeah, Radio Master. Yeah, we've covered that. Radio Master 100% is making these for Eachine. And let's see. My eyes are definitely cheating on my TX16s. I really like this radio. Thanks, bud. Yeah, yeah, you're welcome. I think, I don't know. It's just got a little slightly different aesthetic, but you can tell it's made by Radio Master. There's no two ways around it. I mean, they're using the same model number. They didn't even switch the model number. It's the same. RCR Marshall says, I honestly don't use a 6-position switch for anything. So other than that, I really don't see any difference. Happy with the tension arm gimbal. So yeah. Again, I wouldn't, to me, if I already had a TX16s, I don't know that I'd spend the money to make a change. I don't think there's enough here to do that. Like I said, if I were in the market, I might be weighing things like these pots, because these pots are definite for sure. 100%. These are definitely tighter. No question. The position of the 6-position switch, Dave, all I can say is embrace the 6th position, my friend. It's not that hard. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that. Everything else ergonomically though feels very similar. The switch layout all feels similar. The antenna position, the weight of the radio, I mean, everything else is pretty much the identical. You got minor ergonomic changes. The pots are different. This is different. The sliders, I don't know, man. I kind of 50-50 one way or the other. I'm not sure. The speaker's super loud. The touchscreen, I'm pretty sure, is the same exact touchscreen, and all the other features the same. It does support USB charging. I didn't show you guys the bottom, but it's got that same weather flap on the bottom. So you've got your UART ports. Here we go. You've got your UART ports right here, the USB-C, the SD card, another UART port. So the same thing as on the regular Radio Master. And then I think I did show you across the top, you've got USB-C for access to the computer or the joystick, the trainer port, and then these two little lock nuts up there for mounting things like a FPV monitor. So yeah, ergonomically, I'd say they're really very similar, very minor differences. Let's see. That's what I do. Okay. I just replaced the momentary with a 2-position. Oh, really? That's funny. Somebody else was asking me to do the other and add some more momentary switches, but don't forget, you can use these T5s. Yeah. They even depress the same as the TX16s. So T5 and T6 and T2 and T3 and T4, yeah, they all depress just like the 16s. Clay Quarles says, thanks, Johnny. Wow, well, you're welcome, Clay. Glad to help. Maybe the throttle feels different because it doesn't have dampening grease under the ratchet like the radio. I did see a little bit of grease in there, Robert. Yeah, there is a little bit, but I don't know. It just feels like I can tell you, here's one thing I can tell you about the TX16s. On my first radio, that would be my church radio. I didn't like the tension, so I adjusted it till I did like it. And then I found out over time it wore down. So the plastic wore down. And after that happened, I switched them. I rotated the gimbals. I took this one out and put it over here, put this one over here, switched them, switched the floppy stick from take the spring load off the throttle and add spring load to the throttle on this side, then tighten the ratchet down again on the throttle. It did the same thing. So I just kind of gave up on the ratchet on the TX16s. I'll see over time how this one does, but I definitely like the ratchet on that. I know it's a very personal thing. I'm just pointing it out that for me, I like ratchet and this one feels pretty good. Let's see. I don't know, man. I like the front side, looks better on the Radio Master. Well, yeah, I mean, where's Robert? I mean, what's not to love, right? That to me is that's a thing of joy to look at for me. I love looking at the front of that radio. But there's a good side by side comparison of the two. So let's see. The front is different, so the bling kit is not totally usable. Yeah, I don't think you might be able to get away. Like you will not be able to use the power buttons. You cannot use the ring for the lanyard. You might be able to use the gimbals. You definitely could use the roller button, but not these buttons. You could not use the system and model button. You probably could use the pot knobs, and you can use all the switch nuts. So, and you could use the stick ends, but you would not. There are a lot of things you would not be able to use for sure. Ergonomic, yeah, I don't know, Robert. Robert says it looks a little more ergonomic. Maybe. I mean, I think as far as grip goes, they both feel pretty much the same to me. So I don't know, like grip wise, I'd say there's any difference. Let's see. Sean Hawkins says, why doesn't anyone in the USA make bling for radios? I don't know. Good question. Seems like there's a market for it. I mean, Radio Master, I'm sure they did their marketing work. I don't know why no one makes bling for them. You know what I'm really surprised we haven't seen yet are the graphics plates for the front of these. I'm surprised those haven't hit the market. At least I haven't seen them, you know, where they do the color form graphics on the front of these. I haven't seen those. Let's see. I want the Horus gimbals. Okay. Same here. Glad I made the switch from Spectrum. Yep. RCR Marshall, get a voice prompt for Amy. Get me a sandwich. I'm just going through comments. Thanks, John, for all your instructions. Jim Worley, you're welcome. Glad to help. Tobias, nice to see a live stream, but it's bedtime here in Sweden. Take care. Thanks for joining us, Tobias, from Sweden. Awesome. Drone Pilot, just buy the Radio Master 6-position switch and faceplates. Yeah, you could do that, Drone Pilot. Because when you pull this apart, it's a 3-piece affair, right? You've got the faceplate, the center section, and the back plate. We already know the back plate's the same. Obviously, the front plate's different, but if the back plates touch or work, then the centerpiece is the same, which means you could put this faceplate on this radio, but if you did that, why not just buy a TX16 in the first place, I guess? So yeah, you could switch them, but then you'd be switching this out, and I also don't know, the LEDs up here, they mount to the front plate, so it wouldn't be any problem to do that. You could do it, sure. It's Uders is hanging out, John. Her time has come. Robert, don't worry. She's just relaxing right now. She's just relaxing. It's all good. You should check out the Free Sky X20. Mark Butler, never gonna happen, man. Free Sky can suck it. I don't like Free Sky. Not happy with them, and nothing personal. You know, I'm sure it's a fine radio, but I want nothing to do with Free Sky ever again. RCR Marshall, I got the carbon fiber face plate. For mine, that's basically a graphic. It's definitely, it's a graphic. Still love my Jumper T18. Yeah, hey, K. Anthony, that Jumper T18 is really good. That's a damn fine radio. I think you know, it's good to have options out there, and the Jumper T18, I really like it. It's good radio. Any word on graphics since you mentioned it? I picked up another front plate and try and hydro. That's what I was talking about. Hydro dipping would be so much easier if it was pre-made. I haven't heard anything about graphics. I haven't heard anything. Yeah, Robert, I'm not holding back, man. You guys know how I roll. It's, you know, Free Sky pisses me off. They're acting like a bunch of dictators. So I don't like that. So I'm gonna say what I feel about it. I don't like it. I don't like what they're doing at all. So I'm not gonna support that company. So see my Just Say No to Free Sky project. That's what I think about Free Sky. Could you change out the upper plate and have 2 sets of 6 positions? Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't think so. And here's why. You see, that's actually clever, Sean, but you see how this front plate right here kind of forms a 90 degree, and over here, there's more of an angle here and here. So I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, that's right. Suck it, Free Sky. That's right. I'm not. You guys reap what you sow. You want to act like that toward the community and act the way you're acting toward the community? I got nothing for you. So, Sean, that's actually a clever question, but no, I don't think so. I don't think they're interchangeable. Robert, man, you kind of made me feel bad. I don't know, Robert. You just kind of made me feel bad about having my radio all torn apart like that. So while we sit here and talk and I look at any other questions, I will get this one buttoned back up a little bit too. Of course, I can't see anything without my glasses that close. All right. So do you guys have anything else that you want to see on this Eachine TX16s? I can tell you that, you know, from a capabilities, quality standpoint, it's all there. You know, it's a Radio Master product through and through. They've rebadged it, you know, it's for Eachine as a product. So that's it. Other than the label up front, that's it. It is the same radio. So there we go, Robert. I feel a little better now that Precious is all buttoned up. She just needs I don't have yep, there they are. I found them. Robert, giving Precious a hard time as usual, man. He doesn't recognize beauty when he sees it. That's the problem. Oh, wrong. All right, let's see. RC Air Marshal says I could have used an R161 yesterday. I'd like to hear that story. TX16 SE. Robert says fallopian tubes everywhere. John, put her down. Nope. Nope, that's my girl, man. She's staying right there. There we go. That's better. All right. Well, listen, I think we've devolved into general chit chat at this point, so I think it's a good spot to wrap it up. I don't see any other questions on the radio, so I think that's it. Eachine TX16s, Banggood. Thanks again to Banggood. I like, Banggood, you guys, just so you know, Banggood's been good to the channel, and the last thing I needed was another TX16s radio. I didn't need another radio. So Banggood was very generous to send this out and let me review it and let me show you guys what it looks like. So I hope you enjoyed the first look. I will fly with it. I want to get it out and fly with it and check it out, make sure everything is the way I expect it to be. But I do want to say thanks to Banggood and give them a look. If you're out in the market, give them a look. If you can find what you need and they've got your price point that you need, use them. And don't forget to check out my description for those coupons. And if you can, it would be really great to help out, is I've got affiliate links in all my videos that are Banggood and Amazon. If you can just use those to bookmark when you go shop at Banggood or Amazon, whenever you buy anything, the channel gets a little kickback and you pay nothing. It costs you nothing. So just a little help for the channel, or add some, coins to the funnel so I can keep buying stuff to review for the channel. So that'd be really helpful if you guys could do that. And then on the way out, I also want to make sure I thank the patrons for their support on RC video reviews. You guys means a lot to me that you're willing to open your wallets and help me fund operations on the channel. So I do appreciate that. Thanks for your contributions on patreon.com. And if your budget allows and you're so inclined to help out, I've got a $3 tier, chip in, buy a cup of coffee for me. And again, I use that money to help on the channel. So just throwing that out there. If you guys can help out, that's great. Let's see. Gary says, wish they would go to 2 antennas like many others on the TX. Yeah, maybe they need a place to upgrade. But Gary, I honestly, when it comes to park flying on 2.4, I've flown everything I own with this radio and I've never had a problem. The only thing I've ever had a problem with is recently I flew a Tyro 119 drone with a 161 receiver in it, and I had an RX signal loss, but I don't know why, and it didn't come back. So it was transient in nature, whatever it was. But other than that, I've never had a range issue in terms of line of sight with a 2.4 system. It just works. So Four Eyes, thumbs up. Appreciate. Oh yeah, hey, that's another one, guys. Before you leave, hit the thumbs up button. That'd be great. That really helps the channel out and helps video placement and all that stuff. So if you wouldn't mind, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like the first look, give me a thumbs down and tell me what I can do better, and I'll try. So yeah, hit that like button. I miss the days of 10-foot telescopic antennas. Yeah, I've got a radio like that in the garage, Sean, with one of those long antennas, 72 megahertz, right? All right, guys. Hey, thanks for joining me on this first look of the Eachine TX16s. I hope you enjoyed the video. That's all I've got for today. Take it easy.